Just off Ebeye Island, at Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands, are the wrecks of two H6K Mavis aircraft. Designed in 1933 by the Kawanishi Aircraft Company, the H6K was one of Japan's premier maritime reconnaissance aircraft of World War II. With a wingspan of 131 feet and a length of 84 feet, it was the largest aircraft in Japan's inventory when the war broke out. It was powered by four 1,000 horsepower engines, and it had a range in excess of 2,000 miles, making it ideal for long-range patrols over the vast expanses of the Pacific. The Japanese Navy designated the H6K the Type 97 large flying boat. The term flying boat comes from the fact that the fuselage of these types of planes are purpose-designed to allow the plane to float and to provide its buoyancy. The names of Japanese aircraft were often hard to pronounce by Allied aircrews, so in early 1942, a system was created by Allied intelligence to assign names to the various types of Japanese aircraft that were encountered during the war. Since the H6K was a flying boat, it was given a female name, and the name chosen for the H6K series was Mavis. Wherever Mavis is operated, large seaplane ramps had to be built for getting the aircraft into and out of the water. Crews would wade out to the aircraft and attach beaching gear prior to the plane being towed ashore, and when the plane was deployed back into the water, the beaching gear would be removed before the plane taxied out for takeoff. When the Marshall Islands were mandated to Japan in the early 1920s, following Germany's defeat in the First World War, a civilian administration was put in charge. In the late 1930s, the Japanese military took over and began fortifying several of the atolls. As part of the military buildup, they constructed a seaplane base at Ebeye Island. This wartime photo of Ebeye shows the seaplane ramp jutting prominently out into the lagoon. The ramp is still visible today, and it is now a cargo ramp and the site of Ebeye's fuel depot. On December 4, 1943, a major raid by U.S. carrier-based aircraft took place at Kwajalein Atoll. Targets included shipping as well as shore installations. This was a softening up raid in preparation for Operation Flintlock, which was scheduled for the following month. During the attack, two Mavises were strafed and sunk at their moorings just off Ebeye Island. These wrecks are referred to by Kwajalein divers as Mavis 1 and Mavis 2. The Mavis 1 wreck lies just off the former seaplane ramp at a depth of 90 feet. This photo taken during the attack shows a column of smoke from a burning plane just offshore. Zooming in closer on the photo shows that the burning aircraft is Mavis 1. The forward section of the plane past the wing, and part of what would be the right side of the wing, are mostly all that remains of this wreck. In another photo taken during the attack, the forward section of the plane can be seen as it began to sink. The lack of fire and smoke seen in the previous photo is because the forward section had capsized, extinguishing the fire. The back half of the plane had already broken off and sank. This would seem to indicate that the back half of the plane should be near the existing wreckage, but that is not the case. The slick shown behind the forward section of the plane was caused by fuel and oil leaking out as a direct result of being strafed. Visibility at this site is often murky due to being close inshore to Ebeye, but other times it can be much more clear. Moving along what was the bottom of the fuselage, the tip of a propeller blade can be seen sticking out, as well as a tear where it sliced through the fuselage as the plane came to rest on top of one of its engines. Checking out the remnants of the wing, pieces such as two of the wing support struts are still present, and the wreckage clearly shows the signs of the strafing attack and subsequent fire, which caused the destruction of the plane. The cockpit area is great to look into, and items like the crew seats, various pieces of equipment, and some of the controls can easily be seen. Swimming around the main part of the wreckage, divers can see various other parts of the plane scattered nearby, and the most recognizable pieces are two more of the engines. The fourth engine and another piece of the wing were not discovered and accounted for until early February 2022. These pieces lie at a depth of 110 feet down the reef slope about 200 feet from the main part of the wreck. Also found that month is one of the outrigger floats from the wing. It lies in about 50 feet of water, just over 300 feet south of the main part of the wreck. Most of the wing, as well as the entire back of the plane behind the wing, still has not been found. The Mavis II wreck lies just over 400 feet northwest of the Ebeye ferry pier. More of the wreck is present on this site than on the other Mavis wreck, and the wreckage is in more of a pile due to sliding down the reef slope when the plane sank. Even though Mavis II had already sank before this photo was taken, the oil and fuel slit can clearly be seen, and it begins directly over the spot where the wreck lies today. Most of the Mavis II wreck lies at a depth of about 55 feet. Coming down the reef slope, the forward section of the plane is visible, as is a large section of the wing with an outrigger float lying on top. A diver can easily see into the forward section of the fuselage from several points. Equipment such as a crew seat and other cockpit equipment can still be seen with a good dive light. Most of the wing, the engines, wing support struts, remnants of an outrigger float, and other parts of the plane also constitute the main debris field of this wreck. About 100 feet away and down the slope of the reef is the deepest part of the wreckage, which is a piece of the center fuselage lying at a depth of about 80 feet. Wing support struts are still present on this piece of the plane, including one of the upper supports for the main wing. The interior of this section also shows evidence of heavy fire damage. Some of the equipment, such as a crew seat, is still recognizable. As with the Mavis I wreck, the rear fuselage of this plane is also missing and has never been found. The wrecks of around a dozen Mavises have been discovered in the Pacific near former Japanese bases, including these two off Ebeye. Of the 215 that were built, none survive above water today. Having two Mavis wrecks provides a great opportunity for divers at Kwajalein Atoll to get a look at the remains of two of Japan's premier maritime reconnaissance aircraft of World War II.